Hello, let's talk about books. Let's talk about the books that I adopted into my home and my life and my heart in October 2023. I have a surprising number of books to show you this month because I broke the camera. I broke you and I had to send it away to be fixed. And so I thought that would be my book budget for the month, which is fine. We don't have to endorse consumerism here. But then as the month progressed and my camera came back and it's all fixed, books that I had ordered in September started arriving. And then yesterday something turned up from my Amazon wishlist, which I know is from my mum because she spoiled it. And thanks, Mum. So I don't know what it is. I'm going to open it here. And then there's one book that I actually bought in September and forgot to include in my video, but that doesn't matter because I haven't read it yet anyway. We can talk about it today. Let's get going with the physical books. So the first one is one that I had pre-ordered and then just turned up in October, and that is The Dance Tree by Kiran, Millwood, Hargrave. I was sent kindly off my Amazon wishlist The Mercies earlier in the year and I loved it. So when I saw this one was coming into this size paperback rather than like initial release size paperback, put this on my pre-order list because it's going to be awesome. I just know it. The Dance Tree says, when the world is ending, what else is there to do but dance? Lisbeth is pregnant and frightened she will lose this child too when the arrival of a stranger upends her world. Ida's life seems simple, but a buried secret threatens to destroy her peaceful existence. Neth, or Nethy, has just returned from years in exile, punishment for a crime no one will name. As a mysterious dance plague takes hold of the city of Strasbourg, all three women become entangled in a web of deceit and clandestine passion that has them dancing to a dangerous tune. Well, you know that I generally don't read blurbs before I buy books. I just go on cover vibes, usually. This one was first published in 2022, so looking forward to that one. I've talked before about I was buying all of the Jane Austens with the matching vintage classics covers, so Persuasion and Sense and Sensibility have turned up. This one with the ship in the bottle, I love it for Persuasion. I'll read you the blurbs. Persuasion was published in 1818 posthumously, and Sense and Sensibility was published in 1811, her first novel. So Persuasion. 8 years ago, Anne Eliot bowed to pressure from her family and made the decision not to marry the man she loved, Captain Wentworth. Now circumstances have conspired to bring him back into her social circle, and Anne finds her old feelings for him reignited. However, when they meet again, Wentworth behaves as if they are strangers and seems more interested in her friend Louisa. With humour, insight and tenderness, Jane Austen tells the story of a love that endures the tests of time and society. This is my favourite book. My favourite book. Definitely my favourite Austen. Up there in my top 2 favourite books of all time. The other one also being a romance. For someone who says she doesn't like romance. And the blurb for Sense and Sensibility. Eleanor is as prudent as her sister Marianne is impetuous. Each must learn from the other after they are forced by their father's death to leave their home and enter into the contests of polite society. The charms of unsuitable men and the schemes of rival ladies mean that their paths to success are beset with disappointment, but together they attempt to find a way to happiness. I've read this but only once, and before I was a good reader, so I would be keen to go back and read Sense and Sensibility at some point. And then on the advice of my friend Luke, who is into all things weird and macabre and creepy and gothic, I bought this secondhand. This is the Penguin Complete Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe because it's spooky season. I'm not going to read this spooky season, but it will be good to have on hand. It's so big. This contains all of the short stories. What does the blurb say? Edgar Allan Poe wrote some of the first as well as the finest stories of the dark and macabre mystery to ever blacken a page with ink. His tales of terror and suspense continue to leave readers the world over wide-eyed and shivering with fright, unable to put down a book their clenched fingers so tightly grasp. Is that a thing? Do people do that? Do people have those visceral reactions, physical reactions to reading? Because I have never. This is the Ultimate Poe collection featuring every story and poem he wrote. Wow, okay. It probes the depths of the human psyche. It will chill and enthrall. But above all, it is story after story that you will never, ever forget, no matter how hard you try. Dun dun dun. I'm looking forward to having something to dip into every October for the rest of my life. And then finally, what did my mum buy me off my Amazon wishlist? I know what it is. The Tower of Fools by Andrzej Sapkowski, who wrote the Witcher series. I've read this. I'm so excited to have a real copy of it. I will read you the blurb, but I can tell you I really enjoyed it. Oh, look how shiny it is. Thank you, Mum. Rainmar of Bilau. Oh, they're all Polish names. I can't do that. Rainmar of Bilawa, sometimes known as Rainovan, is a doctor, a magician, and according to some, a charlatan. Discovered in bed with the wife of a high-born knight, he must flee his normal life. But his journeys will lead him into a part of Europe which will be overtaken by chaos. Religious tension between Hussite and Catholic countries is threatening to turn into war. Pursued not only by the affronted Sturksha brothers bent on vengeance, but also by the Holy Inquisition, and with strange mystical forces gathering in the shadows, Rainovan finds himself in the narrow term, the Tower of Fools. The tower is an asylum for the mad or for those who dare to think differently and challenge their prevailing order. But can Rainovan escape the tower and avoid being drawn into the conflict around him without losing his own mind? I literally this week finished reading the second one in this series. It is set in the time of the Hussite Crusades in Bohemia and that region. And I think if you are not familiar with the Hussite heretics and that period and part of the world, and also a lot of Latin, this probably isn't a good fit for you, but I am loving it. By the way, this was translated by David French from the Polish and was first published in 2020 in English, but the original was 2002. So that's a good little haul. I'm excited by that. Now I've got some digital ones as well. I bought in September, and I forgot to include it, The Spare Man by Mary Robinette Kowal. I'll read you the blurb. Tesla Crane, a brilliant inventor and an heiress, obviously, is on her honeymoon on an interplanetary space liner, cruising between the moon and Mars. She's travelling incognito and is revelling in her anonymity. Then someone is murdered, and the festering chowderheads who run security have the audacity to arrest her spouse. Armed with banter, martinis, and a small service dog, Tesla is determined to solve the crime so that the newlyweds can get back to canoodling and keep the real killer from striking again. Mary Robinette Kowal writes romances, couples who stay in a relationship and the drama is around them and they are the rock in the centre of the drama. So if you like that sort of romance, she's pivoted into science fiction in a hard way. But she also wrote a Regency romance series as well, which is basically Jane Austen with magic. That was originally published in 2022 and I picked it up because it was the Kindle Daily Deal. As with most of these, I think. The next one, which is on my Kindle, is part of Brandon Sanderson's secret book project Kickstarter. So he wrote over the pandemic 4 books in secret and has released them every quarter in 2023. And this is the last one, called The Sunlit Man. It is set in his Cosmo universe. And to be honest, it's the only one of these 4 that is released that I'm actually interested in reading. I did read Tress of the Emerald Sea at the beginning of the year. Let's read the blurb and find out what it's about now that I've, bought it. Running, putting distance between himself and the relentless Night Brigade has been Nomad's strategy for years, staying 1 or 2 steps ahead of his pursuers by skipping through the cosmere from one world to the next. But now, his powers too depleted to escape, Nomad finds himself trapped on Canticore, a planet that will kill anyone who doesn't keep moving. Fleeing the fires of a sunrise that melts the very stones, he is instantly caught up in the struggle between a heartless tyrant and the brave rebels who defy him. Failure means a quick death, incinerated by the sun, or a lifetime as a mindless slave. Tormented by the consequences of his past, Nomad must fight not only for his survival, but also for his very soul. Yeah. Maybe I'll read it. We will see. Obviously, The Sunlit Man has come out in 2023. I think the general consensus is they're not his best works. But some days you just got to be a completionist fan, and one day that will come and I will read it. This last one on Kindle was also a Kindle Daily Deal, actually just a couple of days ago. It's The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies, which came out in 2023. It's by Alison Goodman, who actually, I read something of hers before and I DNF'd it because it was not great. But anyway, I did hear that this one was very sweet and cute, and if it was recommended on BookTube, I'm probably going to buy it at this point. The blurb reads, "Welcome to the secret life of the Colebrook twins, unnoticed old maids to most, but unseen champions to those in need. Society, be damned. Lady Augusta Colebrook, Gus, is determinedly unmarried, bored by society life, and tired of being dismissed at the age of 42. She and her twin sister Julia, who is grieving her dead betrothed, need a distraction. One soon presents itself to rescue their friend's goddaughter, Caroline, from her violent husband. The sisters set out to Caroline's country estate with a plan, but their carriage is accosted by a highwayman. In the scuffle, Gus accidentally shoots the ruffian, only to discover he's Lord Evan Belford, an acquaintance from their past who was charged with murder and exiled to Australia 20 years ago. With Lord Evan injured and unconscious, the sisters have no choice but to bring him on their mission to save Caroline. What follows is a high adventure full of danger, clever improvisation, heart-racing near misses, and a little help from a revived and rather charming Lord Evan. And so begins the beguiling adventures of the Colebrook twins." Now, I feel like this is based on the cover, Regency, romance, crime-solving, society ladies. Which just sounds like a bunch of fun, doesn't it? And then my one audio purchase this month was Middlemarch by George Eliot. This was published in 1871, and I've got the Penguin audio edition read by, I'm going to have to look that up, read by Juliet Aubrey. I am going to purchase a real version of Middlemarch at some point. The blurb is, "Dorothea is bright, beautiful, and rebellious. Lydgate is the ambitious new doctor in town. Both of them long to make a positive difference in the world, but their stories do not proceed as expected, and both they and the other inhabitants of Middlemarch must struggle to reconcile themselves to their fates and find their places in the world." Middlemarch contains all of life, the rich and the poor, the conventional and the radical, literature and science, politics and romance. But above all, it gives us a vision of what lies within the human heart, the raw on the other side of silence. Really? Okay, I am reading it and I'm really enjoying it. It's unflinching, but fantastic. So anyway, I'm having a great time. This is buddy read, and I'm glad that somebody just invited me to this buddy read, because I would not have picked it up so soon otherwise. Although one of my English professors at uni did tell me it's the greatest book ever written in English, which made me put it on the list in the first place. And that is everything that came into my collection in October 2023. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know if you've read any of these, or if there's anything I should be adding to my TBR, because obviously, but also because Christmas is coming, and I did tell my mum that if she wanted to buy me a Christmas present, she should just go head back to my Amazon wishlist, which I will link below. I think of all of these, the first one I will read, I'm just looking at them all on the floor, because I've already read 1, 2, 3, and I'm reading one, I think the first one I'm going to pick up is The Flame Tree. It's just so much fun getting books. Bye.